The news coming from NVidia in recent days has just been really interesting, and we might just have the next big thing coming out from this company. The company has just announced its latest project, Neuralangelo, and definitely this will create a big impact in the AI race because of the wide range of applications. Recently, NVidia has been doing pretty great boosting their total market value. And of course, this has been attributed to the amazing contributions that the company is making in sustaining the recent AI trend. Racking up revenue of about $200 billion within days, NVidia is well on its path to the level of elite companies with a $1 trillion market cap. And in case you're wondering, Neuralangelo is basically an AI assistant which enables you to make 3D renderings of 2D images. And as basic as this might sound, this is a very amazing thing that NVidia has done with this technology. By the time I begin to show you some demonstrations, you might really start to get the picture. The mind-blowing thing about this technology from NVidia is the number of details that are available in this thing. Basically, the AI uses information processed from a 2D version of an image or video to create the other parts that have not been originally included in the photo. We will definitely be seeing this in wide application when it finally rolls out because, as of now, it seems the technology is still undergoing some fine-tuning before it is made available for use. Of course, there have been many other similar programs that have existed in the past, which offer similar features such as the Lumi Labs AI. But what NVidia is bringing to the table is much more advanced than whatever you've seen in the past. Here, we see a 2D version of this house, which is then replicated using the Neuralangelo technology. And what is most striking about this technology is the amount of details that the software can replicate from the original video. And when we compare these images against their predecessors, Noose and Neuralwrap, this difference in details really appears to be obvious. As you can see in this comparison of the Noose and Neuralangelo, the lines that are marked on the roof are pretty much more distinct in Neuralangelo than you have in the other two technologies. And this is not just limited to this image. One really good application that we will be seeing with this technology is in criminal investigations. I mean, most often there are partial images from crime scenes that require more details for perpetrators to be identified. This technology will come in very handy in this aspect, and we can't just wait to see this rolled out as soon as possible. And aside from the Neuralangelo project, NVidia has introduced some other technology that presents a text-to-video feature. Honestly, this is something we thought was going to take some more time to come by, because with the way things were moving, it was only a matter of time, but it's coming much sooner than expected. Now let's go into details. As you will see here from the abstract of a research paper published by NVidia on this project, they have leveraged the resources of the text-to-image model of Stable Diffusion. They've been able to tweak this latent diffusion model, which had been initially trained only on text-to-image, to include a video format, by including a temporal dimension. All these are explained here in the abstract. It says right here, we first pre-train an LDM on images only. Then we turn the image generator into a video generator by introducing a temporal dimension to the latent space diffusion model and fine-tuning on encoded image sequences. Although this was kind of built off Stable Diffusion, there have been some really obvious improvements in the overall quality. However, as I will show you soon, the technology seems to work great in some aspects, but obviously needs some more effort in other aspects. Here we have a video of a vehicle being used to train this model. As you can see here, almost immediately, the 3D reconstruction of the dashcam view is replayed in this video demo. The technology uses data from this training to recreate a 3D rendering of the scene. This is totally insane. And this technology, when eventually fine-tuned, will really revolutionize the movie industry and many more others. I say this because we can see that some of the things here are still very far from being realistic. As we have in this video, we see the simulation of a child running across the road. But as much as it is mind-blowing what NVidia has achieved with this so far, there is room for much improvement. One thing that I have noticed about this technology, however, is that some image generations seem a lot better than others. It practically seems that the software works better generating images of sceneries more than the others. To understand what I mean here, let's look at some of the demonstrations. And make no mistake, this is still an entry-level software, and this is still undergoing some fine-tuning, and will probably be much better than we have it now when it finally rolls out. In fact, many companies are still struggling to roll out the text-to-video feature. Now here, we have a prompt that says a swarm of bees flying around their hive. And as you can see here, the software was able to understand what was required, and we actually have a swarm of bees around their hive. But with a first look at this, you will immediately notice something mechanical about the movements. It lacks the fluidity that you would have if you were looking at an actual video of bees. And overall, the picture quality still looks very much animated, but it is far more realistic than what you will see with Stable Diffusion. We have seen this first instance. Now let's take a look at this other demo and see what's different. The text prompt we have here is time-lapse at a fantasy landscape, 4K high resolution. Looking at this, it appears a lot more practical than the former one. I mean, you can easily see this being applied in video games and other similar usages. And the software is also equipped to give out pretty high resolution images. This is something with a lot of potential, most of which we don't know yet, and NVidia seems to be doing pretty amazing stuff with this software. Speaking about potentials, a UK-based global advertising firm, WPP plc, has approached NVidia for partnership, and this is just insane. WPP is looking to leverage the potential of generative AI in the operation of the company. This has been expected with the recent trend of AI, and we will be seeing a lot more companies partnering with these tech firms in the near future. And aside from the speed that this will be adding to the operation of these companies, it is room for these companies to cut costs as much as possible. Right from the beginning, it was clear that AI will be taking up most of the tasks that previously required human labor. And this has been a big issue when we're looking forward to how the impact this will have will be cushioned. WPP is looking at using this technology to reduce the processing time of campaigns from weeks to minutes. And in case you don't see how this will affect the amount of human labor required, you will have to understand that advertising takes a lot of planning, props, and setups that humans are hired to provide. This need will be largely cut down with this technology. For instance, let's look at one of these demos that will show just what we mean here. We have this prompt that just says beer pouring into glass, low angular video shot. And immediately we have something that definitely looks like what you will be seeing in a beer commercial. With very little description, you can easily get what will normally take a team hours to realize, done in mere seconds. This is mind-blowing. And this is the opportunity that WPP is seeking to exploit here. Let's take a look at similar examples from the series of demos that NVidia released on this project. Here also, we have a similar video to the one that you have just seen, and this one has milk dripping into cup of coffee, high definition 4K as the prompt. And as you can see here, we still have that advertising quality shot. Again, this is still undergoing some touch-ups, and we will definitely have something better when they finally roll it out. And there are some crazy things that you can generate using this technology, which shows that there is no limit to what can be achieved with AI. Let me quickly show you this very realistic image we have here. The prompt for this video is close-up of grapes on a rotating table, high definition. The result is just mind-blowing and is one of the most realistic I've seen among all the demos. This is definitely an instance where the model performed really well. And talking about crazy ideas, we have here a prompt for a sloth playing video games and beating all the high scores. As much as this is really impressive, we see that it's not very realistic like the one we just saw. And one impressive thing is the software being able to reflect beating all the high scores part in the expression on the sloth's face, instead of showing a bunch of numbers. It gives a hint about where we are with AI being able to reorganize emotions. Overall, from all we've seen, NVidia is really pushing hard to take a place in this AI race. And what we've seen so far is really impressive, considering that they're still definitely going to optimize them. I will really love to see how some other tech companies will be responding to this. We definitely have interesting times ahead. This brings us to the end of this video, and we will see you in the next one.